The following is an exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the National Football League.
On this episode of the Panthers Huddle, a familiar face returns as we end the season with a division rival at Bank of America Stadium. Can we spoil the playoff hopes for Baker and the Bucs? And Thomas Davis joins us in the film room. TD breaks down what went wrong the first time we played Tampa Bay. Plus, a wish come true. Meet a special fan who got the blue carpet treatment courtesy of the Carolina Panthers. Hello and welcome inside this week 18 edition of the Panthers Huddle. I'm Carla Gebhardt, and the Carolina Panthers hope to end a forgettable season on a high note this Sunday against the visiting Tampa Bay Buccaneers. While the Panthers do sit on the outside of the three-way race for the NFC South crown, they do have a shot to dictate the outcome. Baker Mayfield returns to Bank of America Stadium as a Buc with a division title and playoff berth on the line. Despite nursing a rib injury, Mayfield is expected to play this Sunday. If the Bucs win, they're in. And if the Panthers can claw them into submission, the division would go to the winner of the Falcons-Saints game. A drama-filled showdown to end a tumultuous season for the Panthers.
If you're available to play, you're playing. It's about competing at the highest level. You are playing the very best in the world. You are coaching against the best in the world. What a challenge and what a great opportunity. It's not you're not guaranteed to be able to do that again. So why wouldn't you put everything into this regardless of what your record is? And that's how we view it.
Regardless of the outcome, this game will be a nice chance to move on from last week's loss. Outside linebacker Marquise Haynes suffered a scary-looking injury in the third quarter against the Jags. He was carted off, evaluated at a local hospital, and eventually was released. Haynes remains under concussion protocol and will likely miss the season's final game. As will Jonathan Mingo, who was placed on IR this week after a foot injury. Meanwhile, Eddie Piñeiro's game-time scratch left us without a kicker last Sunday, and as a result, the Panthers did not score a point for the first time in over 2 decades. His status remains up in the air this week.
He tweaked his hamstring, and he's still getting rehab right now, so we'll have to kind of assess it. I think it's still a day-by-day process right now.
Bryce Young with one final game to play in his rookie campaign, and while it wasn't the year many had hoped for, it was still a valuable learning experience for the young QB.
Obviously not everything this year has gone the way that maybe we've planned it, but I do believe everything happens for a reason. So I'm grateful to be where I'm at. So that's kind of just how I look at it.
Meanwhile, defensive tackle Derek Brown on the verge of making NFL history. At 96 combined tackles, Brown is just 3 away from breaking the single-season mark for defensive tackles. His superb year has earned him a trip to the Pro Bowl as a first alternate. Brian Burns was voted in as a second alternate, along with Johnny Hecker and J.J. Jansen, who are third alternates.
We talked about being the Grinch for Christmas. If we ain't going to the playoffs, y'all ain't going with it. So that's the mindset going into this game, man. Just last one with the boys and, make it a memorable one.
Always been a focus, though, to have fun with each other because, locker room changes up every year. That's pretty much our main focus going into this game is ruining their New Year's and spending this time together.
Everyone in this locker room has done everything in their power to try to get wins and kept swinging no matter what's happened, no matter the situation, no matter the head coach. Just continue to swing, continue to try to do the things that are going to get us in that right direction and get us those wins. So, like I said, proud of these guys, proud of everybody that just keeps fighting.
Every time you get an opportunity to step on the field, it's a blessing. And there's hundreds of thousands of people that would rather be in that spot than you. And so you have to take advantage of every opportunity to show that you belong in this league.
Daniel Barber's wish was to see his favorite team, the Carolina Panthers, play in person. Unfortunately, the COVID pandemic and other circumstances delayed his wish from being granted. Thankfully, not only did Daniel finally see the Panthers play this past Christmas Eve, but he also got the blue carpet treatment. It's this week's Coke Community Spotlight.
Daniel Barber had a wish. And that wish was to enjoy a game day with his favorite team, the Carolina Panthers.
We are doing his Make-A-Wish today. He wanted to see the Panthers play.
I appreciate you coming hanging out with us today. You excited, man? It's going to be a fun one.
We walked in, we were showered with gifts. He had a great experience. We got to go to the locker room. He had his own locker. All the guys came over, made it a point to talk to him, shake his hand.
Chiefs, you meet him?
Yep. Talk to the game plan.
Huh? Hey, we'll put you. He's gonna come in for you today.
We're getting set up right now.
Yeah, give him.
Bringing him swag left and right. It was really, really cool. He had a great time. They were a great bunch of guys.
I think that's just how he was greeted and how everyone seems to embrace him. That means everything.
Hey fellas, here's where we're going. We're going out. Daniel, you're gonna lead us out of the tunnels. We're gonna go right out this way. You lead us out, all right, big fella? Come on, let's do it.
As a mother, today has been just one of those moments that your heart is just so full. You see this kiddo who has dealt with so many obstacles, and for him to be able to have this moment of just pure joy, it just fills my heart.
It means a lot. It's almost like a family. It's been really, really cool. It's been a long time coming, and we're really glad to do it.
Daniel and his family have had a long road to get here. At 7 years old, Daniel was diagnosed with pilocytic astrocytoma, a benign tumor on the brainstem. But Dan always fought hard, undergoing 2 separate brain surgeries and taking on 2 rounds of chemotherapy.
He's waited a very long time because he got his wish right as the pandemic began. So everything went on hold. So it's been something he's kind of held on to, and just been that little piece that we always go back to. When am I going to get my Make-A-Wish? When do I get to do this? So when it came to light and we were able to tell him that not only was he getting his wish, he was going to get it at Christmas, that was just such an incredible moment.
Danny boy, break us down, all right?
Here we go. Bring it up on deck. Here we go.
Let's go, Panthers on 3.
Panthers on 3. 1, 2, 3.
I have no expectations for tomorrow. Today has exceeded anything that I could have imagined. I cannot fathom what will occur tomorrow.
Panthers game day means that Daniel gets the blue carpet treatment. As a part of Daniel's game day experience, he and his family had field access throughout the pregame. Panthers players even lobbied for Daniel to serve as an honorary coin toss captain. Daniel even got to experience the live broadcast atmosphere of the control room during the game. And of course, he got to cheer on his favorite team.
I think for Daniel and for us, it was just supposed to be tickets to a ball game. But I think that what has happened is so much of this has been taken to another level. To me, that is more than I could have ever imagined. And I'm sure it's more than he ever imagined.
This exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers television network is brought to you in part by Bank of America, official bank of the Carolina Panthers.
Panthers interim head coach Chris Tabor is about to cap off a difficult 2023 season with a divisional game at home. And while things do seem grim, Coach Tabor has seen enough growth from their team and their quarterback to inspire hope for the future. He spoke with our own Darren Gant about that hope and what they want to accomplish in Sunday's finale.
All right, welcome back. We've got interim coach Chris Tabor. Chris, thank you for joining us. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's been such a year. I mean, obviously none of this went according to expectations, but as you look back over the last few weeks and the season as a whole, what do you think you've found out about maybe some individual parts of this team or certain areas that you've really learned something about in the last little bit?
That's a good question. I think saw some growth in some areas, and sometimes it didn't translate into wins, but the tape said that there were certain players, certain performances that guys got better at. I was pleased with that. You know, I thought we started running the ball a little bit more effectively here towards the end. It's something that we still want to stress going into this game because It was, our yards per carry were good, decent last game, but we still want to emphasize those things. But been really proud of the guys, how they've kind of responded to this adversity and this challenge.
Obviously, so much of the attention this year has been on Bryce Young. How has Bryce handled what is an unusual situation? I mean, a lot of rookie quarterbacks have struggled over the years, and he's no exception this year, just in terms of the situation and the way things have happened.
I think he's handled it like kind of who he is as a pro. He takes things on. He's not afraid to run from things. He runs to things. And I know there's performances that he would want back. There's also performances I think that he can really build off of. And I think that he's taken each and every experience as individual experiences, but yet has learned from them. And as you put it all together, I think his development has been good.
This week, Buccaneers come in here. They've got playoff hopes on the line, and Brian Burns has talked in the last few weeks about wanting to be the Grinch. How much motivation can you reasonably draw from just wanting to ruin it for somebody else this time of year?
I think as a competitor, you always want to win. And, as I've always said, the scoreboard's on, we want to play and want to win. But I think also for us, just looking internally, we want to bounce back from what happened last week, and didn't play as well as what we wanted to, where we were kind of trending in the previous 2 weeks. So one more opportunity with this group to work together and try to make a right out of a wrong, so to speak. So looking forward to the challenge. Obviously, Tampa's really good. They're playing really well, and we know the quarterback. And he's playing at a high level right now, so we got our work cut out.
We do know him. Your background, obviously, in special teams. Last week was one of those unusual situations that kind of only seem to come up when things are like this. When Eddie's comes up tight in pregame, and all of a sudden you're working through all those kind of contingency plans, how would you rank them? Johnny Hecker, Camus, your options of what to do in a situation like that, and how much do you think about those kind of things during a season?
You always have contingency plans, and after Eddie visited with me during pregame, after the pregame warm-up, obviously you had to make some adjustments quickly, and it's just not, I think the thing that's different, it's not one for one. You just don't, your kicker's down and you just go get another kicker. Now, Camus kicking off, he's on the cover team. You got to get somebody in there for his spot. Right. There's going to be a few things that you had in the game plan that you took to the game that we weren't able to do in that phase. And then, if Johnny was going to kick the field goals, then Andy Dalton's now the holder. There's a lot of moving parts that go into it, and then you have to obviously account for what the other team has and what you're trying to stop and prioritize those things. So unfortunate situation, never fun to go through, but at the same time, I don't think you run from it, you run to it.
Right. Johnny told me the other day his range was unlimited. What do you trust him doing more, kicking a field goal or throwing a pass?
I'll go probably throwing the pass, but Johnny does kick some on Fridays for an emergency situation, and keeps that leg swing. And you always have to kind of be a little careful how many field goals you want to give your punter just because of the leg swing and those things. So we do those on Fridays, and if we had to use Johnny, I was confident with it.
Yeah, there you go. Contingency plans. That's what it's all about. Interim coach Chris Tabor, we appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Yep.
Closed captioning for the Panthers Television Network is provided by Charlotte Eye, Ear, Nose, and Throat Associates, helping you enjoy the sights and sounds of the NFL all season long.
All right, it is time for TD's Film Room. We got to talk about these Buccaneers and how the Carolina Panthers can get their third win of the season. And to do that, TD, we're actually going to be looking back at the last time that they played the Bucs down in Tampa. There's a lot to learn from in this game.
There is absolutely a lot to learn from in this game, and we played them pretty tough, but they were able to come away with some big plays, in particular a big play to Mike Evans that I think kind of broke the game open a little bit. But at the end of the day, we have to do a much better job of executing on defense and offensively in order to win this football game.
Yeah, you mentioned that Mike Evans play. Let's go ahead and take a look at that and what the Panthers maybe could have done a little bit differently on that big play.
Yeah, so as we watch this play, we're going to see a lot of things that could have happened differently for us as a defense. So I don't know the defensive play call. I'll start out by saying that. But to me, it just makes a ton of sense if on this play right here, We have two corners that are sitting right here. So if Mike Evans right now, if he stems this route and he runs a 7 cut, the 7 is going to go right to Dante. So Dante doesn't need any help covering Mike on that route. So it makes no sense for Hill to expand. But what does he do? He expands. And once he expands, that's opened up this window for Mike Evans. Once he opens up this window with no safety, which I don't understand. Let's go back a little bit, right? We're going to see this safety. This safety is going to work to the left. To me, he should be standing right here in the middle of the field providing help once Mike Evans stems our corner. So now we let this play out. Baker Mayfield does a great job of hitting Mike Evans in stride, and the old man beats everybody all the way down the field for a huge play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So these are the kind of plays that we have done a really good job at all season long, making sure we haven't allowed to happen continuously. But in that game, for whatever reason, that play showed up. That's enough about what the defense didn't do right. We're going to look at some of these plays right here that Tampa was able to take advantage of us on offensively. Chuba Hubbard did a great job of running the football against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We had the 3rd and 1 situation come up probably about 4 or 5 times that if we execute, it keeps the drive going and potentially we score 7 points on this one. But what ends up happening, this play ends up being on the 1 or 2 yard line, and Tampa on every 3rd and 1, they blitzed us. And in doing so, it forced us into a negative yardage play. And you can see right here, Chuba was trying to get to the sideline. It didn't end up happening because they blitzed off the edge, and that resulted in a negative yardage play. So those are the kind of plays that offensively we got to be aware that's their game plan versus us. They know we like to run the ball on 3rd and short. They know that's our big component of our game plan. So we got to hit them with some wrinkles. We got to give them a different look, and we got to get to doing what we want to do, but in a different way. So right now, 3rd and 1 again. At a crucial point in the football game, we're going down, trying to drive, trying to tie the game up. And now, Tampa's in man-to-man coverage. Thielen is blocking down. This guy right here is responsible for Thielen. So once he sees Thielen stay on, he turns it into like a blitz. It's like a dog blitz. Once your guy blocks, you add in. So Bryce has to understand and know from watching this film, this is what these guys are going to do to us. So we got to take advantage of them, making sure that we get the ball into the right spot and make quick decisions, because Tampa is trying to force our hand, and we got to make sure that we're forcing theirs.
So does it come down to quick decisions on 3rd down? Is that
Absolutely.
the difference?
That's the difference in the game, because you're not trying to get a lot of yards. You're literally trying to gain 1 to 2 yards in a short yardage situation. So you can't take a whole lot of time, because the defense, they're being aggressive in those situations. They're either playing man coverage or they're coming after you.
All right, we'll see if the Carolina Panthers can take advantage of the film study and get that 3rd win this weekend against the Bucs. Thanks, TD.
We got to defend this dirt.
The Carolina Panthers' final road game was the penultimate disappointment in a season full of them. After weeks of positive results on offense, the Panthers failed to score a single point against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The good news, though, is that 2023 is now in our rear-view mirror. You can catch the last glimpse of a calendar year Panthers fans would soon like to forget in this week's Bojangles Rewind.
New Year's Eve in Jacksonville, Florida. No Trevor Lawrence missing a start. C.J. Beathard making his first start since 2020. Under pressure, sacked by Brian Burns. The kick from McManus, and he puts it through. Jacksonville scores on its opening drive. Bryce Young with the ball.
Bryce looks like he's got a great feel right now. He's adjusting plays, he's killing plays, checking the runs.
We're off to a good start.
From the Jaguars 38, this could be 4-down territory.
Absolutely, it has to be 4-down territory.
Bryce stands in, throws, it's caught by Thielen. It's a first down, great recognition by Bryce Young. Screen pass to Mingo, who gets depleted. This puts Carolina in a bind. Here's the snap, 4-man stuff by the Jaguars. Young under pressure and sacked again. That's Josh Allen, swarmed in a riptide of teal. It's a turnover on downs. And credit this Panther defense. Jaguars again, they get in the red zone, and the Panthers hold them to a field goal try.
One touchdown, we're winning this game.
Both sacks the Panthers have given up have come on third down. Jaguars rush 4. Young rolling to his right. They sack him again. It's Josh Allen. This offense just has not been able to move the ball.
We got to have some protection. Somebody needs to make a play.
Jaguars showing blitz. They have 3 sacks on third down today. Young sacked again. That's 4 sacks. It's Josh Allen again. Boy, third down. It's becoming a firestorm for this Panther offensive line. 6 straight possessions without a first down. 6 straight 3-and-outs.
Sometimes we make it a little more difficult than it needs to be.
Young pump fakes. Rolls to his right. Ball is tipped off the hands of Tremble, and it's intercepted by Jacksonville. Final score in this one, Jaguars 26, Panthers 0. Carolina shut out. And in a season where there have been some lows, this sadly feels like rock bottom.
Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for you today. If you're not with us at the stadium Sunday, you can see the Carolina Panthers close out the season by hosting the Bucs on your local Fox station Sunday at 1 p.m. Or you can listen to the game here in Charlotte on 99.7 The Fox. So for Thomas Davis, Coach Tabor, and the entire Huddle crew, thanks for watching this season. We'll see you again for our end of the year special on February 2nd. Until then, keep pounding.
You've been watching the Panthers Huddle, a copyrighted presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the NFL.